Level 1. The new agent. You passed the exam on your second attempt. The first time you underestimated it. The second time you studied for 3 weeks straight and passed with a score you don't share because it was barely enough. And barely enough is the same as enough. You pay your board dues and your MLS fees and your brokerage split. And before you have closed a single deal, you have spent $3,000 on the privilege of being allowed to try. Your broker gives you a desk and a bullpen with 11 other agents. Some of them have been here for 20 years and have a client list and a reputation and an ease about them that comes from having done this long enough to stop being afraid of it. Some of them started 3 months ago and are as lost as you are and pretending otherwise. You can tell the difference immediately. The pretending has a specific texture. Nobody gives you clients. Nobody gives you leads. Nobody gives you anything except access to a system and the theoretical ability to earn a commission if you can find a buyer or a seller and guide them through a transaction without making a mistake that costs you the deal or costs them something worse. The first part, finding someone, is the entire job in the beginning. The second part, not ruining it, is what the training was for. You call everyone you know. Your cousin who mentioned buying a place last Thanksgiving. Your college roommate who just got engaged. Your neighbor who complained about her landlord twice in the last month. You are not bothering them. You are offering them something. You repeat that to yourself enough times that it starts to feel true. You go 3 months without a deal. Then 4. Your savings are declining with the specific mathematics of a person spending money they aren't replacing. You consider quitting twice. The second time, seriously, you don't. Not because of confidence, because quitting means explaining it to people, and you're not ready for that conversation. Level 2, the grinder. Your first deal closes in month 5. A 2-bedroom condo, $340,000, buyers referred by your cousin who remembered the conversation from Thanksgiving. Your commission after the brokerage split is $5,100. You have never earned $5,100 from a single transaction in your life. You hold the check and feel something that is partly relief and partly proof. Not proof that you'll succeed. Proof that success is possible. The distance between those two things is the entire career. You work every hour that isn't allocated to something else. Open houses on weekends for other agents' listings because open houses produce leads, and leads produce relationships, and relationships produce deals. You door knock in neighborhoods where you want to build a presence. You send handwritten notes to expired listings. You call FSBOs, for sale by owners, who have decided they don't need an agent and spend 15 minutes on the phone explaining why they might and learning to handle the specific rejection of someone who hangs up before you finish the sentence. You close 7 deals in your second year, 11 in your third. The income is real now, not life-changing, real. You reinvest most of it into marketing and tools and the ongoing cost of staying visible in a market that forgets names quickly. Level 3, the producer. You are consistent. Consistency in real estate is rarer than talent and worth more. You close 20 to 25 transactions a year. Your gross commission income clears $200,000. After expenses and taxes and the ongoing cost of running yourself as a small business, it is less than that. Still more than you imagined earning when you failed your licensing exam the first time. Your database is your business. 400 people who know your name and associate it with real estate. You touch every one of them systematically. Calls, cards, market updates, the occasional coffee. You are maintaining relationships the way a gardener maintains a garden, regularly and with attention and with the understanding that neglect is visible before it becomes catastrophic. Referrals come now without you manufacturing them. A past client tells a friend, the friend calls, the friend buys, the friend tells someone else. The machine has a flywheel and the flywheel is turning, and every year it requires less initial energy to keep moving. You understand that the agents who burned out in year 2 were not lazier than you. They quit before the flywheel started. Level 4, the top agent. Your name is known in the market. Not famous. Known. When someone mentions they're thinking of selling, your name comes up in the conversation. That is the asset you've been building for 7 years without being able to point to it in a spreadsheet. It is worth more than any individual deal. It is the deal before the deal. You list properties that previously would not have considered you. A $2 million home in a neighborhood where you once held open houses for other agents. A commercial property referred by an attorney who has watched your trajectory from a distance and decided you've arrived at a level worth his client's time. You negotiate deals that have enough complexity to require actual expertise rather than process management. You develop the expertise. Your income crosses $500,000 in a good year. The income has a volatility that salary people don't fully understand. A great year followed by a slow market followed by a great year. You learn to save during abundance and spend during scarcity with a discipline that the irregular income requires and that took you longer to develop than you'd like to admit. Level 5. The team leader. You cannot do the volume alone anymore. You hire a buyer's agent, then a second, then an inside salesperson to handle the calls you don't have time for, then a transaction coordinator to manage the paperwork that consumes hours you should be spending generating business. You are now a business owner who sells real estate rather than a salesperson. The distinction sounds semantic. It rewires everything about your day. Managing people is the skill nobody teaches and everyone needs. You learn it by making mistakes that cost you agents who were good and should have stayed. You learn what motivated you does not motivate everyone. You build systems that function without your constant presence because a team that requires your presence for every decision is not a team. It is an audience. Level 6. The broker. You open your own brokerage. Your name on the door, your commission structure, your culture, your liability. Everything that was someone else's infrastructure is now yours to build and maintain. The responsibility doubles. The margin, when it works, is significantly better. The risk when it doesn't is yours entirely. You recruit agents. The good ones are already somewhere and need a reason to leave. The new ones are starting where you started and need what your broker gave you, access and training, and the belief that the desk they're sitting at is a beginning and not a dead end. You give them what you remember needing. Some of them stay, some of them leave. That ratio is the report card of your brokerage culture. Level 7. The investor. Your commissions have been funding a portfolio for years. Properties purchased below market, renovated, rented, or sold. The portfolio produces income that runs independently of whether you close a deal this month. You understand now what financial advisors mean by multiple streams. You understand it, not as theory, but as the difference between checking your bank account with anxiety and checking it with information. Level 8. The developer. Ground up. You buy land and build on it. The risk is larger, the timeline is longer, the capital requirement is beyond what you could have managed in year 5. You have the capital now, and the relationships with lenders, and the knowledge of the market that tells you what the finished product is worth before the foundation is poured. You are building something that didn't exist before you decided it should. That feeling is specific and not replicated by anything else in the business. Level 9. The Mogul. Multiple verticals. Brokerage, investment portfolio, development projects, a property management company that manages assets for clients who trust your judgment with their wealth. Your name is a brand. It signals something specific in your market about quality and reliability, and the particular knowledge that only comes from having been in every room the business has. Level 10. The legacy. You are 60. You have closed more transactions than you can count, and developed properties that changed the character of neighborhoods, and built a business that employs 40 people who are building their own version of what you built. You drive past a building with your name on it sometimes. You don't stop. You keep driving. There is always something next. Somewhere, a new agent is sitting at a desk in a bullpen that smells like coffee and ambition. They passed the exam. They paid the fees. They called everyone they know. They are 3 months in with no deal, and they are deciding right now whether to stay or go. They have no idea what staying looks like from the other side. They'll find out. They always do. The cycle continues. Subscribe to stay with us. Every video is another level. And drop a comment below. Tell us what level you're at right now. We read every single one.